Imagine standing on the edge of a dark, turbulent river. The water is freezing, moving with violent, chaotic speed. You look down and see a man thrashing in the current. He is drowning. He is going under. Your instinct, the deep programming installed in you by society and morality, tells you to be the hero. So you jump. You dive into the freezing water. You fight the current. You swim out to him. You reach out your hand to pull him to safety. But what happens next is not a movie. He does not calmly grab your hand. He panics. He is consumed by absolute blinding terror. He does not see you as a rescuer. He sees you as a piece of floating wood. He climbs on top of your shoulders. He pushes your head under the water with all his remaining strength, just so he can take a single desperate breath. And in his frantic attempt to save himself, he drowns you both. This is not just a metaphor about a river. This is the exact, brutal reality of what is happening in your life right now. This is what happens when you try to be the savior for people who are entirely committed to their own destruction. This is core wisdom. If you are exhausted from carrying the weight of people who refuse to walk, you are in the right place. Subscribe. We build the fortress together. Let us strip away the noble lies you tell yourself. You like to believe you are the good guy. You are the dependable friend. You are the rock of your family. You are the man who can always be counted on. When someone is in trouble, your phone is the first one that rings. You listen to their endless, looping complaints for hours. You lend them money that you know, deep down in your gut, you will never see again. You stay up late mapping out the perfect, logical, step-by-step solution to a disaster they entirely created themselves. You think you are being generous. You think you are proving your loyalty. You wear your exhaustion like a badge of honor. But look at the cold, unforgiving data of your own life. Do they ever actually take your advice? Do they ever actually change their behavior? No. They listen to your perfect plan, they nod their heads, they dry their tears, and the very next day, they go right back out and do the exact same stupid thing that put them in the hole in the first place. You are not a guide. You are a janitor. You are walking behind them with a mop, cleaning up the toxic spills of their terrible decisions, while they comfortably create more messes. You believe you are saving them, but you are actually subsidizing their weakness. When you constantly bail someone out of the consequences of their own actions, you are not showing them love. You are stealing from them. You are stealing the one thing that could actually cure their incompetence: pain. Pain is the greatest teacher in the universe. It is the absolute, uncompromising mechanism of evolution. If you touch a hot stove, the pain teaches you never to do it again. But you are standing between them and the stove. You are taking the burn for them. And because they never feel the heat, they never learn the lesson. You wonder why they never grow up. They never grow up because you have made it completely comfortable for them to remain children. You are exhausted. Your bank account is drained. Your mental energy is completely depleted. You go to bed feeling heavy, carrying the anxiety of problems that do not even belong to you. And what do you get in return? Do you get profound gratitude? Do you get a return on your emotional investment? No, you get resentment. This is the darkest, most twisted part of human psychology. The people you save will eventually learn to hate you, because every time they look at you, they are reminded of their own pathetic weakness. They know they cannot survive without your money, your advice, or your emotional labor. And human beings naturally despise the people they are dependent upon. Your strength is a constant, irritating spotlight on their failure. When you finally run out of energy, when you finally say no to the 10th request for money, or when you finally refuse to listen to the same complaining for the 100th time, they will turn on you. They will call you selfish. They will act as if you have betrayed them. They will completely forget the 99 times you sacrificed yourself for them, and they will crucify you for the one time you chose to protect yourself. You are playing a rigged game. You are setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And they are complaining about the smell of the smoke. But the truth gets even darker. We have to turn the mirror away from them and point it directly at you. Why do you do it? Why do you voluntarily walk into a burning building for someone who is holding the match? Society tells you it is empathy. But we are not here to listen to society. We are here to look at the brutal truth. You do not save them just because you are kind. You save them because it feeds your own ego. You have a savior complex. When someone comes to you completely broken, desperate for your help, it makes you feel powerful. It makes you feel incredibly important. For a brief moment, you get to play God. You get to look down from your stable, organized life into the chaos of theirs, and you get to feel superior. Your need to fix them is actually a reflection of your own deep-seated insecurity. You need them to need you. You use their incompetence as a mirror to reflect your own competence back to yourself. You surround yourself with broken people so you can be the undisputed king of a ruined castle. If they actually fixed their lives, if they actually became strong and independent, you would lose your role. You would lose your position of authority. You would have to face your own empty life, your own unresolved traumas, and your own silent fears. It is infinitely easier to obsess over someone else's broken life than it is to look at the cracks in your own foundation. You are using their drama as a distraction from your own pain. But this distraction has a lethal cost. Every hour you spend trying to fix a broken man or a broken woman is an hour stolen from your own empire. Time is the only currency you cannot earn back. While you're sitting in a coffee shop for 3 hours, listening to a professional victim complain about how unfair the world is, your competitors are working. While you are stressing over someone else's unpaid bills, your own kingdom is being neglected. You are pouring pure, clean water into a bucket with a massive hole in the bottom. You can pour for the rest of your life, and the bucket will never be full. You will just die of thirst. There is a law of human nature so absolute and so dangerous that ignoring it guarantees your destruction. In the study of power dynamics, Robert Greene articulates it perfectly. Law 10. Infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Misery is not just a personal state of mind. It is a highly contagious, lethal virus. When you allow chronically miserable, chronically chaotic people into your inner circle, you do not elevate them to your level of peace. They drag you down to their level of chaos. Why? Because the physics of human emotion dictate that gravity always pulls downward. It takes an immense, Herculean amount of energy to pull a man up a cliff. It takes nothing but a slight, careless tug for him to pull you off the edge. Look closely at the professional victim. Look at the people you are constantly trying to save. They always have a story where they are the innocent martyr and the world is the villain. Their boss is toxic. Their ex is crazy. Their friends are fake. The economy is unfair. Everyone has wronged them. But if you look at the timeline of their life, the only common denominator in all their failed relationships, shattered jobs, and endless drama is them. They are not looking for a way out of the mud. They are looking for someone to sit in the mud with them. Misery loves company because company validates the misery. If you give them a ladder, they will not climb it. They will just complain about the color of the rungs. They will argue with your solutions because solving the problem means they lose the attention that the problem brings them. This is where your empathy becomes a fatal flaw. You think you are just listening to them vent. You think you are just offering a shoulder to cry on. But emotional states are transferred through proximity. You are absorbing their cortisol. You are absorbing their cynical, defeated view of the world. You walk away from a 1-hour conversation with them feeling physically drained, pessimistic, and heavy. You have been infected. You must stop treating your inner circle like a rehabilitation center. Your life is not a charity. Your psychological bandwidth is the most vital asset you possess. If you allow emotional vampires to drain it, you have absolutely nothing left for your own ambitions, your own family, and your own physical health. You are sacrificing the king to save a pawn. And not just any pawn, a pawn that actively refuses to move forward on the board. This brings us to the ultimate strategic maneuver, the only cure for the disease of the savior complex, the quarantine. In the medical world, when a highly infectious, lethal virus breaks out, Doctors do not run into the crowd and hug the infected. They do not hold their hands and hope that love cures the disease. They isolate. They establish a ruthless, uncompromising quarantine zone to protect the healthy population. You must become the chief medical officer of your own life. You must establish a psychological quarantine. This does not mean you lack compassion. It means you possess strategic intelligence. Compassion from a distance is still compassion. You can wish them well. You can hope they find their way out of the dark. But you do not allow them to bleed on your carpets. You do not hand them the keys to your nervous system. You have to learn the brutal difference between helping someone who is actively climbing and carrying someone who is refusing to walk. If a man is building a house, his hands are bleeding, he is sweating, and he asks you to help him lift a heavy beam into place, you help him. That is brotherhood. That is strength multiplying strength. But if a man is sitting in the dirt, complaining that he has no house, and demanding that you build it for him while he watches, you walk away. You let him sleep in the rain, because the cold rain is the only teacher he will actually listen to. You must draw a line in the sand, and the line is drawn with the heaviest, most powerful boundary in the human language: the word no. When you establish the quarantine, the infected will violently resist. They will use the ultimate weapon of the weak to break your defenses. They will use guilt. They will tell you that you have changed. They will call you cold, arrogant, and heartless. They will bring up the one time they did something for you a decade ago. They will play the victim harder than ever before, trying to make you feel like a monster for simply protecting your own peace. This is the critical moment. This is where the weak man breaks, apologizes, and opens the steel door of the quarantine zone. Do not open the door. Are they throwing a tantrum because you finally closed your wallet? Good. You just stopped funding their weakness. Are they trying to guilt-trip you for prioritizing your own peace? Good. Let them choke on their own manipulation. Did they cut you out of their life because you refuse to be their emotional dumping ground anymore? Good. The parasite just completely detached itself. You didn't even have to do the surgery. This is the alchemy of a king. You take the exact moments where you used to cave to their pressure, and you weaponize them into absolute, ironclad sovereignty. You must formally resign from the position of savior. It is a fake title. It is an illusion that has kept you chained to the failures of other people. You must understand a profound, counterintuitive truth. Letting someone fall is not an act of cruelty. It is often the highest form of respect. When you let someone fall, you are respecting their autonomy. You are respecting their right to face the brutal, uncompromising consequences of their own choices. You are treating them like a capable adult instead of a helpless infant. Rock bottom is a terrifying, lonely place. But rock bottom is also a solid foundation. A man can finally build a real life on rock bottom because the illusion is shattered. But he can build absolutely nothing on the soft, comfortable cushion of your endless pity. If you keep placing a pillow under them every time they stumble, their legs will atrophy. They will never learn how to stand. Your help is exactly what is keeping them crippled. So the next time you stand at the edge of the abyss, when you look down into the dark, chaotic water, and someone who entirely refused to learn how to swim is screaming for you to save them again. When they throw a heavy rope up from the bottom of the pit they dug with their own 2 hands, begging you to pull them up. Look at the rope. Feel the old, familiar urge to be the hero. And then, do the hardest, most necessary thing a sovereign man can do. Do not grab the rope. If you grab it, the immense, downward gravity of their chaos will rip you over the edge. You will not pull them up. They will only drag you down into the dark. Drop the rope. Step away from the ledge. Turn your back to the freezing water. Look at the horizon. Your kingdom requires your absolute attention, and you have wasted enough of your finite life playing in the mud with people who love the dirt. Let them learn how to swim. Sleep well. The quarantine is active. Walk alone, and walk like a king.